Hello all, and welcome to the show. In this one, I'm joined by Dan,
Hello.
because as we know, Dan is an attention whore and can't pass up the opportunity to appear on the podcast.
Yes, it's all true.
Well, I was hoping for some banter there as you denied it, Dan, but okay, fair
Sorry.
enough.
Sorry.
But in this show, we're going to run through the UK Masters list for 2018, give our feedback on them, and give our thoughts on how we're going to get on this weekend. Assuming we actually get through this goddamn show with the way the technical issues we've been having have been going.
Yes, yes. Plus, I mean, I'm also distracted by my cock, which just turned up today.
Oh, your prize.
No, the Clash of Kings 18 book finally arrived.
Oh yeah, lucky you. I've not got mine
I'm
yet.
gonna look for it.
I've not got mine
Oh,
yet.
right.
I'd have done a review.
Oh,
So
oh.
we'll start off with my list. This is a list I've pretty much been running in one form or another for a good chunk of the year on and off. So I've got 2 Wraith regiments, one with the Sparkstone, one with the Healing Brew, 3 Werewolf hordes with the Brew of Strength, Blood of the Old King, and Helm of the Ram. Revenant King on the Undead Worm with Wings and Brew of Sharpness, Vampire and the Dragon with the Potion of Caterpillar, and Lycanus with the Brew of Haste. So I finished 10th last year. 10th last year, yeah, well, this year technically. A couple of third, well, I think I took 3 third places, 2 with the Undead and 1 with the Herd. So I kind of that's what made me decide to take the Undead rather than the Herd. And to be honest, looking at the list, I'm quite glad I went with the Undead. Although I've very much gone for the small and incredibly elite list. So Dan, what are your thoughts on this one then? Give me an unbiased opinion.
Yeah. Well, I still think it's somewhat debatable because, bearing in mind, the Masters is running the map packs, so there's going to be a lot of terrain there. So I think your herd would have done pretty well.
Not I think my after Clash of Kings, we just really struggled with the Herd. I was kind of a bit off them.
Yeah, but terrain wasn't necessarily ideal at Clash of Kings.
True, true.
I like it. I mean, it's obviously very solid. It's very elite. It's very fast. It's got every artifact under the sun, which Nick would not appreciate at all.
I know. It's a complete noob error. I'm sorry. I'm putting over 200 points. I think of artifacts. I'm a noob. What can I say?
Nah, it's really solid. I mean, obviously we discussed it as you were building it, and I like it. It's going to hit very hard. The only trouble is, I mean, you've certainly got nothing at all in there you could possibly chaff. So all your units cost an absolute foot. I suppose the Lycanus at 160.
No. The Wraiths are chaff. This is
200 odd points.
Yeah, but the chaff that doesn't die. This is the reason I switched to using this list rather than the slightly older list I was using that had a lot of chaff. Had a decent amount of chaff in it. Because even when I'd win a game, I'd bleed about 200 points in chaff. Whereas the Wraiths, they perform like chaff, but they'll stand there for like 3 turns, and that's normally enough time for the werewolves to kill whatever they kill and turn around and kill what's attacking the Wraiths.
Okay,
So I've gone whole games where I just don't lose a single unit, and that's the difference. This list gets me 20 nils, which I wasn't getting when I was using chaff.
Yeah, true. I was surprised to see the Sparkstone. I assumed you had nothing better to spend the points on.
Pretty much. That's pretty much. It was either give, because the Helm of the Ram had gone elsewhere as well, so I just thought I'll give one to Sparkstone, because you never know, it might prove handy.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Just for people listening, it's not that the Sparkstone's a bad choice. It's just that I know that Water doesn't particularly like it, so it's like, why is he running that?
Yeah, I could have given him a reroll hit item or something like that, but I think it's because I jigged around the magic item was a bit to give the Lycanus the Brew Haste rather than the Banner of the Griffin this time.
Yeah, that is solid. So,
Okay.
no, I like it. It's going to hit. It's going to hit really hard. As long as you don't make any silly mistakes, you're going to go through whatever. But
I'm going to make silly mistakes.
You might have is in the scenarios that are all about objectives, because you've not got a lot of unit strength there.
Come on, everyone's going to be doing the same. We're going to spend 4 turns killing each other and then work it out to win the scenario.
We'll come up to a certain list later, which I think is going to be challenging for both of us. So.
Yeah, I think we come down to that. Anyway, so next up we have your list. So you've got Undead as well, because this is a bit of an Undead Masters, this one. Where are we going? So we've got, in Dan's list, you've got the 2 Wraith regiments as well, but you've gone Brew of Strength and Helm of the Ram. 2 Zombie regiments, 2 Revenant Kings and Worms with Wings, one with the Sharpness. The Cursed Frere with the Wings, and 2 Lich Kings with Mounts and Heal and various Lich Kingy magic items, Boots of Levitation, Amulet the Fireheart, and the Barrowright Horde.
Yes, so I very much wanted a no vampire, no werewolf list, a lot of people have looked at this list and gone, "Oh, that's not a very good list," but it works pretty well for me. I like it, and obviously we discussed it a lot as I was building it up, and
Dear God,
I
yes.
took it to Clash of Kings. Admittedly, I've changed it slightly since then, but I mean, I came third, so I was happy enough. No, I think it's solid. What do you think?
Yeah, it still surprised me how well you do with it, because I remember when you sort of first pitched the idea, I was really, I was very sceptical for the most part. I just because it doesn't have, yeah, you've got the Revenant Kings and stuff, but you don't have any obvious hammers. Not really. For me, I like to approach the game with a bag of hammers. I want the hammers on hammers. If everything's a hammer, all the problems are nails. It makes life much easier in the game. But this one, you're a bit finesse, but you seem to, as you say, you've been doing really well with it. Third cock, and so it's got to be good for something.
Yeah.
So yeah, again though, you've went a bit heavy in the magic items, Dan.
I did. I mean, I took it to Beers of War last weekend and came first as well. I mean, it was only a small event, but there was some good players there. So, I have got a bit heavy on the magic artifacts. But like you say, we have a similar point of view with them. I've not got one on every unit, unlike your army, but certainly on most
You're not
of them.
far off it, dude. Apart from your zombies, I think you literally hit one guy.
The reason I went for a bit more finesse on this one is because obviously beforehand I was running the Varangur, which was very much fast, nimble artifacts, very hammers. So I wanted something just a little bit different. And obviously with the meta progressing how it was, I was thinking to myself, well, okay, people are going to expect me to use Varangur. They expect that sort of list. So how often do you see Surge Heavy Undead anymore? And the answer is, well, I mean, for me, never. Any of the events, I
don't use it. I've not used it much. I think this edition I might have used it early on, and that was it.
People really underestimate the amount of Surge I've got, and then suddenly when I'm flying across the battlefield doing crazy things, I'm like, what? Which is fun. So, yeah, it's good.
Right, so let's get on with the rest of the pack then. Right, so next up we have Elliot. Elliot finished second in the rankings this season. They'll go this season. He's running a mixture of nature, mostly nature with a bit of Varangur. Nature generally seems to be his better performing one. I think his 4 scores are all from nature. And he's the only nature player here, so that immediately I think gives him a big advantage Pathfinder wise. He's the only one really with it. So Elliot's got 2 Salamander Hordes, so one with the Brew of Strength, one with the Brew of Courage. 4 Shambler Regiment, Centaur Chief with the Bow and the Blade of Slashing, Double Winged Unicorn with Lightning Bolts, one's got the banner, Double Beast with Lightning Bolts, and Fly, and Vicious. And we have the first of the other pattern you'll see as well as Undead is some Abyssal Allies with Gargoyles, and, if I click on the right window here, 2 Regiments of Tortured Souls.
Yeah.
This is a nasty list. He's got a nice solid centre with the Salamanders, and he's got the lightning bolt that forces you to come at him, and then he's got the speed to do the counter charges with the beasts and the torture souls. Yeah. It's a nasty list.
Of course, I've already faced it because me and Elliot played at Beers of War with our masters lists.
How'd it go?
Well, very interestingly, I decided to completely alpha strike almost all the flyers into one of his hordes right at the start of the game. Okay, that does sound a bit insane, but it was an eliminate, you see. So
that's a move worthy of me, Dan. That's the kind of stuff I do, so I'm quite impressed with you there.
I figured even if it goes wrong, if I kill one of his eliminated hordes, then I get the points, and then I'm ahead. It did go wrong because my useless Pharaoh did 0 damage. Yes, a Pharaoh normally does 2-3 easily. No, it did 0, and then I wavered his horde instead. But it wasn't too bad, and it was a really good game actually. Very, very close. It ended up a draw. Mm-hmm. So it's really solid. The shooting, the lightning was no issue to me because pretty much mathematically I'm healing back the same as he's doing in lightning. So it didn't really do an awful lot. But I'd be very interested to face it again in a different scenario because eliminate really changes things up. So, but it's very manoeuvrable, and those beasts are very hard to kill. It is a very, very good list, and of course the Abyssal Allies are impressive. Although I think he's got confused because everyone knows you only take tortured souls to unlock gargoyles, but he's got more tortured souls than gargoyles, so I'm not sure why. I mean, he's only UK number 2, so he's obviously got confused somehow. I don't know.
So next up, we have what I think is the filthiest list here. So this is Dom. Dom finished 7th this year, running mostly orcs and goblins for the most part, and I think he's had a damn good season with a number of first places. He was generally, I think, giving you a rundown for a while there for tournament wins.
Oh yes, definitely, yeah.
Challenging. So this list, this is just, I think, horrendous. So he's got 3 troll hordes, 4 mob beast regiments, triple war trombone, 2 flaggots, one with the Sparkstone, one with the banner of Griffin, triple mincer, and then he's brought the abyssal hordes with 2 tortured soul hordes and an abyssal harbinger. Now, this Dom's been running orcs and goblins most of the years, I said, and he's been running similar lists to this. And I played one of his old lists before, and he did beat me, but I kind of could give him a good run for his money. But I can't see how I'm going to manage it with this one, because against the old list, the main advantage, the disadvantage he had, or the advantage you had, depending on your point of view, was flyers. He had none. If you had them like we do, you could at least manoeuvre and threaten his backline and push those war trombones back, etc. Now with those abyssal hordes, the tortured soul hordes, that's not going to be so easy anymore at all.
Wait, so someone else has took tortured souls, but no gargoyles?
Yep, yeah. I know. It's like they don't get it for some reason.
No. Yeah, I played Dom earlier in the year, and I beat him by about 1,000 points, and he still won the game because I just couldn't kill enough of his units. And yeah, as you say, this one looks tougher. It should be noted we're running Cock 17 because it's the end of the season, so about half this army will actually be nerfed. So this is going to be a last powerful run out for him. Yeah, I think it's really strong too. I can only hope that I face him on a scenario that isn't all about the unit strength. But I mean, I'm really not sure.
I'm just looking at this, doing the maths, because this is one thing I remember when I played him before, and I think if every single one of my units took out one of his units a turn, it would still take me 3 turns to table him. That's not going to happen. Yeah, this is the thing. It's a risk you take when you run, especially camera on a small elite army. This kind of list just is a nightmare. And Dom's been playing it, like you said, most of the year. He knows what he's doing with this list.
I think his unit strength's dropped slightly. I just calculated. I think he's got 26. It was 30 plus previously.
Yeah, I think he had more crap, but I think those tortured soul hordes are well worth dropping a bit of unit strength to get in there and just counter. Give him that counter to enemy flyers. They're going to be great.
Although I'll be honest, I actually do really like the tortured soul regiments. I might have been more tempted to take 3 regiments over 2 hordes, but I don't know. There's pros and cons.
So next up we have John Gunn. John finished 18th this year, mostly running Herd. In fact, yeah, I think a good chunk of his year was Herd. But it looks like he started a Twilight kin army in the new year, and he's now decided to bring that to the Masters. So, in this list we have a troop of gargoyles, a horde of lower abyssals with the hammer measured force, the regiment of dark knights with the brew of haste, 2 units, 2 hordes, of abyssal riders, one with the potion of caterpillar, one with the brew of strength, double twilight dragon breath, so the breath weapon attacks, double dragon lord, one with slashing, one with pipes, and an amber standard bear with the loot of insatiable darkness. So what we've got there is really sort of pretty solid combined arms list, bit of shooting, a lot of fast, hard hitting stuff. Double Dragon Lord with Vicious, they're always nice.
Yeah, very much so. Because of the way it has been designed, he can very much let us come to him and put ourselves in a bad position, because he's just going to keep doing a bit of breath, a bit of lightning. I actually really like the Twilight Kin dragons with the lightning 5. I mean, don't get me wrong, the breath is good on the elf ones, but that's a very short range thing. Whereas these can just sit back and pepper you, and with the vicious, that's actually some decent damage coming in. And of course, you know, as soon as you do come near, then it can be charging in, and that vicious really ups for damage as well, compared with, say, your you've got a vampire lord, aren't you? Compared with that does make a difference. So the number of times you're facing the abyssals, and they don't roll any twos or anything. It's just, oh, look at all these ones. Oh, look, now everything's damaged. Great.
Yeah.
It's a very good army, rule, Vicious. The same with Elite, just to make things very consistent. Because you have those times when you roll like half your dice are ones, and then suddenly you roll them again, and they're all hits or damage.
You're back to averages anyway. It basically mitigates bad luck.
It really does. It's so I like the army. I think it's solid.
John's been playing solidly all year. He's generally finishing pretty good. So yeah, he could do quite well with that one. Okay, next up we have your hero, my hero, everybody's hero, Kev. So Kev finished 11th, and he's been rocking Nature for most of last year, and then he switched over to Brotherhood, and he's continued that by bringing the Brotherhood along. I think Kev's even got a story for his army. He's gone full hobby with this one. So we've got a Bowman Horde, a unit of Martyrs, a regiment of Martyrs, sorry. A regiment of Order of the Brotherhood, so just standard cavalry with the Potion of the Caterpillar. A regiment of Order of Redemption with the Brew of Strength, so slightly better cavalry. Villain Reconnoiters, I can't pronounce Frenchy type things, which is basically that's cavalry, light cavalry chaff. Order of the Forsaken Horde, so that's the Pegasi with Blood of the Old Kings, 2 Siege Artillery pieces, 2 Forsaken Beasties with the Breath Attack and Ensnare, the Exemplar Forsaken, so that's like a Dragon Light, and the Exemplar Adjutant, which is, I believe that's just, that's your BSB there with the loot. Yeah, so Kev's been running these guys for a while, and I think he's been doing quite well with them on the whole. I think I don't know whether exactly it was this build. I don't think it was this build, because I don't think it was Siege Artillery when I played him.
No, this is a new build he's just come up with. Yeah,
because he beat my ass the last time I played him, because it was just those Forsaken Beasties that sat in Snare. Just, again, with an elite army, I can't afford for against that cavalry, I can't take a charge off it unhindered. And if he's got those Forsaken Beasties, he can push forward to force you to charge them.
Just horrible. Assume that they're probably going to be in difficult terrain, so -2 to hit.
Yep.
And with 15-17 nerve defense 5, you just won't kill them.
Yep.
They're possibly the best monster in the game, quite possibly, with or without ensnare.
Yeah,
that nerve and defense for 125 base, they're so good. And of course, that breath attack had something the Brotherhood really need. It's a very good unit.
No, I think it's a good list. He's got the shooting, so again, you can't just hang around and spend like 3 turns out manoeuvring him. You're going to have to move in quite sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I like it too. The artillery is quite an interesting option, because it's one of those, isn't it? You just don't know. They might do nothing, and then all of a sudden they both hit, and they've just taken your unit off the table. And it's like, oh my god! So yeah, you can't really afford to hang around, and it's good. It's good. I think obviously in Cock 18 it's going to be a step better still, but good on him for bringing it to Masters. I think he should do pretty well with it.
Yep, no, I think it's looking pretty damn solid list indeed. So next up we have, coming from down south, I think that's a terrible accent, and it doesn't sound like, it sounds more like a farmer anyway, it's Matt James. As usual, rocking the Orcs. So Matt finished 8th last year, pretty much running Orcs with a bit of Ratkin early in the year, but Orcs for the last part. So Matt has brought Double Axe Regiment, Great Axe Horde with the Brew of Courage, 2 Orkling Regiments, 2 Gore Rider Regiments, one with the Potion of Caterpillar, the Crudger, just on the Boar, Crudger on the Boar, Crudger on Slasher with Wings and Brew Haste for that 22-inch charge, Flagger with the Loot of Insatiable Darkness, and Gakamak, standard War Drum, and unfortunately he goes and ruins his purity, his high ground he had bringing Orcs, by rocking on a Regiment of Tortured Souls.
But wait a minute, where's the gargoyles?
I know, no gargoyles, and he's Orcs, for God's sake. There's just things you expect from Orcs. Goblins allies, I'd be fine with Goblin allies, but nah, not this putting Tortured Souls in, that's just shameful. for shame.
I played a vaguely similar list. Actually, it looks very similar at the Southwest Clash, and he was the only person that beat me over the weekend. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah, I played him as
It's
well.
a really solid army.
Yeah, it just hits so damn hard, and he plays it so aggressively.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, with the fast list like we've got, you think, okay, it's orcs. I'll outmaneuver them. I'll spend a turn or two outmaneuvering them, and then I'll hit them hard. But you don't get the chance against him. And like Gakamak is just horrendous. He's brilliant. He's like a wee, that melee 2+7 attacks with crushing 3. So he's hitting in 2s, winding in 2s with vicious.
Oh yeah. I think my Varangur would have struggled again, but in all honesty, I'm feeling more confident with my Surge Heavy Undead. I think it's possibly got the answers, but we'll have to wait and see.
I played him with my Undead, and I did play it badly. I made some really stupid mistakes. But again, this time,
heavy, is it?
Yeah, but he's got. I might do better this time. I don't know if I play him, but that Cudgern Slasher with that extra 2 inches is a right pain in the arse.
It is if you forget about it, which I did.
I didn't forget about it, but then I did stupid mistakes instead.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think he's going to do well. So, yeah.
Right, so next up we have Master Josh Fletcher, who didn't even qualify this year, didn't play any Kings of War last year, but he was the master last year, the winner of the Masters last year, with his triple vampire army. So he gets a free invite basically to the Masters next year. So he's rocking up with the Undead. He's got a horde of Revenants with a Brew of Strength, 3 troops of Wraiths, one with the Brew of Haste, one with the Quicksilver Rapier, triple Zombie Regiment, one with the Warbow, Revenant King on Worm with Wings and the Healing Brew, Vampire Lord on a Horsey with the Mace of Crushing, Vampire and the Dragon with the Blade of Slashing, the Barrowite Horde.
See, I find this list very confused, and I think it's showing his lack of practice and experience over the last year. He's gone quite surge heavy, but he's got no surges. Yes, technically the Vampire Lords can surge, but they've got surge free. You don't want to be using them to surge. Yeah. So you've got these amazing units that probably aren't going to be used to the best. So I'm a bit iffy on it, I'll be honest.
I'm not sure. There's one of two things I think's happened is, and as you say, he's not playing the year, or he's trolling, one or the other with the list. he may have not played the year and forgotten how to play the game, which is quite possible, or he is just trolling with some of the options here, I think. Or it could be, you never know, he was a master last year, he may have just spotted something in the meta throughout the year, and he's got a cunning plan.
I mean, he was the master, but of course having 4 defense, 6 vampires is quite helpful.
Yeah, but he called the meta. What he was, he called the meta pit spot on last year, and in fact, he crushed it for the most part.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so, be an interesting one. Next up is Richard Tomlin. It's not Richard Tomlin, it's Richard Blackmore.
Fuck's sake!
Yeah, don't worry, it's all smoothed over in the edit. So Rich Blackmore came 14th, rocking, pretty much Undead most of the year with a little bit of nature, and he's brought the Undead along this time as well. So he's got a Revenant Horde, 3 troops of Wraiths, 2 Werewolf Hordes, one with the Brew of Strength, Soul Reaver Cavalry Regiment with the Potion of Caterpillar, Revenant King on the Undead Worm with Wings, Cursed Pharaoh with the Wings of the Honey Maze, and Necromancer with Bane Chant 2 and Inspiring Talisman. So yeah, it's a bit of an old school list. Soul Reaver Cavalry is probably the interesting thing here, because I think I fought them once this edition. You never see them in the table. And we know we've been talking about if we can use them, because they are so expensive. But they do hit like a ton of bricks.
They are an amazingly good unit, but it's relatively easy to chaff them up, assuming you actually have chaff. There's various things you can do to stop them. So, I mean, if you use them well, then they're amazing, but they are expensive. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I understand the reason for Potion of the Caterpillar, Thunderous Charge 2 and all that. Yeah. But I don't think the unit's quite hitty enough by default, because you were saying in your Artifact article about a unit needing to potentially take units out by itself. This unit probably isn't going to do it, because you're only talking 13 hits, and then okay, you might do a regiment maybe, but you're only talking maybe 10 damage at full strength. What I would do is I'd give it the Brew of Strength, because that way, if you're not in terrain, Now you're taking units out in one go. Okay, I'm assuming it's potentially all the way up to defense 6. If you are in terrain, then you're still going to be crushing 2, hitting on 4s, which is still solid. I don't know. I mean, there's pros and cons, but I just think the potential to take out those defense 6 units as well, and then not worry so much if you do lose for Thunderous.
Yeah,
because obviously you've got ongoing combats too. So.
Yeah, it's a solid list. I think he's got all the standard toys in there. The Soul Reaver Cavalry is the only kind of unusual thing. So I'm curious to see how that performed from over the weekend.
I like it. I mean, he's got some surgery bits in there, which obviously do work with his wraiths and things. He's got the troops. It's, like you say, it's nice.
So next up we have Toby Waters with Goblins, and Toby finished 22nd. Again, it's been a bit of a change. I think he was running Goblins at the start of the year. Last year, actually. Not last year, the year before, 2016 with Goblins. Last year he was running Abyssals and Undead. But he's decided to bring the Goblins along. Let's be blunt, this is a standard Gobble build for the most part. He's got a Horde of Rabble, he's got a Horde of Spitters, he's got 2 Troll Hordes, 2 Mob Beast Troops, Fleabag Sniff Regiment, Triple War Trombone, Double Flaget, Banner of the Griffin, Loot of Insatiable Darkness, 2 Wizzies, one with both with Blood Boil, or 3 Wizzies, 2 with Blood Boil and 1 with Inspiring Talisman, Double Mincer, Double Giant, which is quite cool. What can you say? It's a standard Gobble list. He's got the War Trombones, he's got the Zaps, he's got the Blood Boil, and then he's got the Giants and the Trolls for the counter charging.
Yeah, it's super solid, and it all depends on how he uses it. I mean, obviously, blow everything up and then blow it up even more with Blood Boil is great, but that assumes your opponent's going to let you use the War Trombones. If you don't, or I mean, if he managed to get in there, I mean, it all depends how he deploys it, how he guards it. I mean, with our armies, if we can be getting in there on all the flanks and things, and obviously not getting within that range of the War Trombones, and then just suddenly pouncing, we're going to make a mess. But I don't know. It all depends how he plays it, but it's solid.
Solid list. The only downside I see to bringing something like this is expected almost for the most part. I'm terrible at planning for meta. I don't plan for meta. I just build a list that amuses me and bring it. But generally, I know you do, and I'm sure the others do to some degree as well. Think about the meta. When you design your list, for the most part, you have to be thinking about the classic triple War Trombone list and how you beat it.
Interestingly, I think this will actually do quite well against, say, Matt James, for example, because this is going to do better against the slightly slower list, potentially, unless he lets him charge for Tortured Souls into the War Trombones and things. Whereas with ours, I think we've got the range to stay out and then suddenly pounce and then take those shooting units off.
It's a lot of cat and mouse. I've learned when I've played the lists like this that don't have those Tortured Souls chucked in like Dom's got. As you can play it, it's a lot of cat and mouse to see who blinks first, basically. But solid list. Can't really say much about that. So next up we have Rich Tomlinson with Orcs. So where did Rich finish? Rich finished 20th last year, and Orcs. He just ran Orcs all year, and he's brought them along to Masters. So what we've got here, we've got the Axe Horde with the Healing Brew. We've got Triple Sculpt Troop, Troll Horde, 2 Go Rider Regiments, Potion of Caterpillar, Blood of the Old Kings, Fight Wagon Horde, good man, with the Brew of Strength, Kudger, Mounted Nagore with Blade of Slashing, Kudger on Slasher with some wings, a Flagger, Godspeaker with Banechant and Heal, and Fireheart Amulet and the War Drum. I think it's a good solid. Again, we've said this, but we've got to stop saying good solid list. All the lists this weekend, I think, are pretty much good solid lists. This one, he's not gone overboard though. Although he's gone with 1 Godspeaker and a few hordes.
Yeah.
He's not really min-maxed. Triple Skulk Troop, I know you're a big fan of the Skulks. And I quite like them as well.
It's nice to see the Skulks. I think this is possibly one of the fluffier armies there. I mean, I'm sure he'll do pretty decent with it. But this is the sort of army I would like to be drawing in the first round, I think, because it looks like it's something that my army could probably deal with quite well. More so than Matt James's.
You could definitely say there's nothing here that, when I look at this list, I do. It looks a solid, good, powerful list, but it's not filth. Yeah. There's nothing here that makes me go, you spammy fake, or you've brought Abyssal allies or anything like that. It's a pretty.
Yeah, it all hits really, really hard. But he's only got that 1 unit with the speed, certainly to threaten me, our two armies. That's really going to be like, oh my. So yeah.
Yeah, see how it does. So next up we have your hero, my hero, everyone's hero, Sam. I think Sam now, he's responsible for Iron Brew, so we all like Sam. Scotland, unless he's responsible for changing the taste. So Sam has been rocking dwarfs all year, and I think it's safe to say maybe in the latter half of the year he suddenly started to come into his own with these. He's been rocking them for a while and finishing middling, but then sort of towards the latter half of last year he definitely started, taking scalps and getting podiums with them.
So at the end of the day, if you go to enough tournaments, you're going to get better. And he goes to more tournaments than anybody.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. No. Not only does he go to more tournaments, he goes to tournaments like 2 days before his missus has the baby, or then just after the missus has the baby. Like no wonder he married her. So his army. So we've got 3 regiments of ironclads, Earth Elemental Horde, a troop of Brock Riders and 2 regiments of Brock Riders, one with the Potion of Caterpillar, one with the Brew of Strength, double Ogren Gun, Army Standard Bearer, the Banner of the Griffin, double Berserker Lord, one with the both mounted, one with the Blade of the Beastseer and one with the Blade of Slashing, Standard King with the Honeymate with wings, and 2 Battle Drillers. Now, I've played Sam quite a few times and I've always beat him just. This list scares me a lot.
I think this is a fantastic dwarf list. It's really good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. He's got all the tools. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's very good. But as ironclad, people say dwarf infantry isn't very good. But when I compare them with my zombies, I mean, they're 30 points more. Mm-hmm. They're much harder to kill. They're perfect for sitting on objectives. If you leave it there on objective all game at 110 points each, if it wins you the game, you don't really care. And it's not easy to take off. Nope. I really like them.
This list scares the bejesus out of me. Those Berserker Lords especially, because they've got that 360 charge, they're just horrendous for your like dragons and your Revenant Kings. Yeah. And again, Brock Riders, you have to get the charge on. And even if you get the charge, even though they're defense 4, they're dash 22. It actually takes quite a bit to pop them in one round.
It's like the troop as well, dash 16.
I know.
What?
Berserker Lords are dash 17. So although it's all low defence in general by winding them in 3s and 2s for the most part, it's a lot of firepower. And if they are delete buttons, like a Brock Rider regiment could easily come into Werewolf Horde and just delete it single-handedly.
Yeah, you just need to use that terrain, which obviously doesn't work against the Caterpillar one.
Yeah.
But,
But this time he's brought those the Ogren guns along as well to just blaze away at you, so you can't, just sit back again and kite. I've noticed that now. A lot of folk, because with the fast armies, it used to be, most folk didn't bring that much shit. You could just kite the army till you got in a position where they made a mistake and you could turn the flank. Whereas against a lot of these armies now, they're bringing enough shooting to make it that a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, I really like this army. I think Sam's going to do pretty well.
I think so too. I think it's a good one. So next up we have Tom Robinson. So Tom, Clash of Kings winner the year before. He's currently finished 3rd last year. Mostly pretty much ran the league all year, and he's brought them along. Although, as we can see, he doesn't really get to claim if he wins it with league because he's brought along some Abyssal allies. So we've got 2 troops of Gargoyles, a Tortured Soul Regiment and the Abyssal Champion. So he got the right way around there. More Gargoyles and Tortured Souls at least.
Yes, Tom understands.
He's got a horde of the City Militia. He's got 2 hordes of Honour Guard, one with the Potion of Caterpillar, one with the Healing Brew, triple volley gun, the Battle Shrine, the Duke on Wings, so attack 5 dragon, and the Duke on Ancient Winged Alzira for the kind of not quite a dragon. Yeah, I think it's easy enough. I've played Tom, got beat by him. You've played him a couple of times. He's been running a variation of this all year, but it's basically sits there, shoots at you with the volley guns.
Yeah.
Forcing you to clinch him.
I played him at Clash of Kings. He had a very similar list. He's just slightly tweaked it up. And I really like it. It's really good. He's a fantastic player. Of course, he's going to do well. He's bound to. It's just really good. I mean, the only thing is, it's those volley guns. The 3 of them. I mean, he always deploys them really well. They've got the battle shrine, so you can almost never kill them. So it's going to be a real challenge, and yeah, I think he's going to do well.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have the hobby hero, Chris Walsh. So Chris finished 15th last year. He's running undead at this one, and he's been running undead. He's got a lovely undead army. He's been running. Is it the same army he's been using for his undead and his nature? Or has he got a new army for nature?
The different armies.
Different armies,
basically, this was the army he painted up for Clash of Kings,
right.
Not the one just gone, the one before.
Right.
And it was technically a mantic army because it had lots of mantic skulls on the bases. and he tried to get them to count it as a mantic army. Yeah.
Right. So in this one, we've got 3 regiments of skeletons, a revenant horde with a brew of strength, regiment of mummies with the blessing of the gods, zombie trolls, revenant cavalry regiment with the potion of caterpillar, 2 revenant kings and worms, one with wings and blood of the old kings, another one with just the brew haste, cursed fairy with the wings of the honey maze, necromancer with bane chant and the mount, and a lycanus with the blade of the beast slayer. So yeah, so when I first looked at this one after it, I was a bit like, well, there's a wee bit all over the shop here. But when you start to look at it, you go, well, actually, the mummies and the zombie trolls pretty much perform the same thing. They form the same purpose. And he's been running this list now. He's run it a while, and he's done quite well with it. He's been finishing quite well with it. I've never played Chris myself yet, but he could do quite well. It's a solid list, and he seems to know what he's doing now.
Well, at the end of the day, if he's ended up 15th, and he's obviously not just a good painter.
I hate that. It's actually really annoying. Do they not know the rules? It's like if you're good at hobby, you're supposed to be shite at the game, right? Well, you're not allowed to do both.
Yeah, imagine FFS with hobby being important. You might do particularly well at that. But yeah, no, I think it's good. I don't think it's quite as focused as my list. It's a little bit of various things, but other than that, it is very similar.
I'd say it's unfocused, yeah, compared to pretty much every list here almost. It's the most unfocused one. But as I was saying, the units do, when you actually look at it, they do complement each other. There are things, the Revenant King that without the wings, and the Revenant Cavalry can go together. The zombie trolls and the mummies kind of match. So yeah, it does actually complement to quite a degree. When he's gone with the sort of different units that complement rather than just having 2 hordes of zombie trolls, for instance.
And one thing to note over our undead armies is actually there's quite a bit of unit strength in it. Certainly more than we've got. So.
Yep. Good difference. Right. Next up then, we have Andy Marshall with Bastille. So Andy... Where did Andy finish? Andy finished 19th last season, and he was running Bastillions for most of it. Basileans, sorry. I think this list is actually even more elite than mine. I think this pips the post. So he's got 3 pennant and mob troops, 3 hordes of Aeoli, one with Brew of Strength, one with Potion of Caterpillar, one with Brew of Haste, double dragon, one with Blade of Slash, and one with Mace of Crushing, and the Aeoli hero character. How the hell do you even pronounce that one? Aeoli?
I pronounce it Elohi, but that's just me.
Elohi, whatever, with the blood of the old kings. Yeah, so you say I go small and elite. I think he's 1 or 2 unit strength lower than me even.
Yeah. Of course, you realise he's committing heresy here because he's bringing Sigmarines to Mantic HQ.
Oh, is he got Sigmarines as the army?
Yeah. This is a super elite army.
He's rocking this like first edition, isn't he? Really? Did he know we're on second edition?
I think it might be a bit too elite, in all honesty, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, if he gets the drop on people, he's going to smash through. And those Elohi are actually quite hard to defeat with the Iron Resolve, the Dash 17. It was like I fought one the other day, and of course, 16, one-off popping it, not even wavered, and it Iron Resolves as well. Of course it does.
This is a list I'd struggle against because he's basically, we're both fast, but he's slightly faster with more units. I think this would be a proper Mexican standoff.
I think you'll be okay because if you just use terrains, just to let it come in.
Terrain works for both players.
Does more units, so you're going to be threatening more flanks and such.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be an interesting game, that one. If I end up playing them, I have to admit, I think that could be quite a fun one. That'll be one of those kind of very much three. I could see it being 3 turns of mental agility and then 3 turns of just all hell breaking loose. But we'll see. So next up we have the gent himself, Ed Herzig. So Ed has finished 9th last year, rocking the Trident Realms pretty much entirely last year, and he's brought them along again to the Masters. So this is this is a variation. I think this is the variation he took to Lone Wolf.
Yeah, that's right. Or certainly similar. Yeah, the Dwarf Allies.
So he's got Dwarf Allies. Okay, you know, as much as I generally detest allies, I'm not going to rag on someone for bringing dwarfs. that's fine. So he's got a regiment of Rangers, 2 troops of sharpshooters, and Ogren gun. And then for his Trident Realms, he's got the Ensnarer Horde with the Hammer Measured Force, the Placoderms with the Brew of Haste, 2 troops of River Guard with double-handed weapons, 2 Tidal Swarm regiments, 2 Knuckers, a Naiad Centurion with a harpoon gun in the wings, and the Thule Magician Mythicon. Mythicon? Yeah, I think it's Mythicon, with Banechant, Lightning Bolt, and Inspiring. So yeah, you know, as I said, Ed's been rocking Trident Realms all year. He's been doing pretty damn well with them. He knows how to play them. I've played them, you know, once. I think I beat him just, or it was a draw, one or the other. It wasn't an easy win because, you know, those Trident Realm units do not die quickly at all, especially with that ensnare in the front. It's really painful for me to take them out.
I've only played him once this year, and it was a relatively easy win because I managed to get around the flanks and rears. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously 9th, so that's fantastic, and that's with Trident Realms. So you know, if he's doing that with Trident Realms, he's obviously a damn good player. So yeah, it's an interesting list. I like the dwarves. It gives him a nice shooting element that he wouldn't otherwise have. So and it's interesting to note that he's got River Guard, because I thought Ed didn't use River Guard. I'm sure that's one of the things that always gets talked about as a thread on the forums, that he's got shown off his army. So.
Yeah, because I've never seen
that's a new addition.
Yeah,
I think that's a new addition. But for an amazing unit, it's one of the best Trident Realm units. Yeah, they're very good, especially in Cox 17 because we got the Ensnare added. Yeah, no, those Knuckers are incredible. I like it a lot. I'll be interested to see how he does. I would love to play him again because he is a really nice guy. He literally is a gentleman and a scholar, being an Oxford University professor. So yes.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at this now. It's very different from the last list I played him, because the last list didn't have any shooting, so there was a hell of a lot of moving forward and backwards and manoeuvre. Whereas this list, he's got a lot of shooting where I won't be able to just again stand off and manoeuvre. Yep.
I like it a lot, actually. This isn't anything like the variant I played, and this looks really, really good.
So that is the last of them. So yeah, so there's a few. I suppose there's a couple of interesting talking points, really. First of all, the amount of undead. There's about 5 undead?
Yes, there is, and that is a bit of a shame. I'll be honest, I did not expect that. If I'd known, I mean, there was going to be so many, I probably would have brought a different army. Mavarin Gur was the obvious choice, but yeah.
So why do you think the folk have gone with undead, though? Is it you know I go with them because I do think they're arguably the best army out there.
I mean, I guess if Chris Walsh's main army at the moment is his undead until he's finished his Abyssal Dwarfs, so that's why he bought it. Undead's possibly your strongest. Yeah. Josh Fletcher's army is undead, so they're just kind of bringing the armies that they qualified with. So I think it's more coincidence than anything. But no, undead obviously is a strong army. Don't get me wrong, of course it is. But yeah, okay, it's fine.
The other one, and I suppose even the more slightly shocking one to me, is the Abyssals, the allies. 2,000 points of Abyssals, and let's be blunt, most of that is Tortured Souls with some gargoyles and a bit of Inspiring dragged along.
It's the most Tortured Souls are the most popular allied unit in the game. Without doubt, that's what we've had from various reports from many tournaments. The rules make you fully aware, which is why it's had a little tweak in 2018. it gives something to lists that they don't naturally have themselves potentially, and I think they're very, very reasonably costed. But yeah.
Well, I think there's maybe a question there about whether you should be giving stuff like that to lists that don't have it, because then they've got no weakness.
Well, it's the difficult thing with allies, isn't it? I mean, if you ban allies, then you're also taking away all the fluffy options that people do, like Ed's army. I mean, yeah, it's gone for interesting, but no one's going to say he's got a broken army. So it is always a difficult situation. That's why we just try to nudge things slightly. I mean, obviously, Cock nudges things a couple of ways on Tortured Souls. They've now got the TC, and then also they've lost a unit strength in 18. So I think we're going to see just a little bit less of them. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so it's a lot of strong armies.
Mm-hmm. So big question: who do you think's going to win? Just say it, you know you want to.
Well, no, I mean...
Just say it, Dad, save us the
obviously, I would like to win, but I really don't know.
Let me make this easy for you. Other than you, who do you think will win? Who do you think's the best chance at winning?
I'm really tempted by Dominic. That army, with the addition of the Abyssals in there, seems very strong. I would expect Tom to do really well. So could he? But I mean, Elliot's fantastic. I really don't know. There's a lot of really good players.
Right, I'll flat out call it. I'm going to say Dom's going to win it. I think Dom with that list can beat you and everyone there. I think I'm going to call possibly. Dom out. I think just looking at it straight away the list with how he's been playing, sort of the latter half of the year, I think Dom's in with the best chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's running this army now at the perfect point, just before a lot of it gets nerfed. So, I mean, how many units is he getting? He's got 7, 8, 9 units in his army are going to be nerfed in COG 18. So he's really going. See, that's why I didn't bring the Varangur, because I was like, well, if I win with them, with all the 4, and everyone's going to say, oh, he only won because he took Varangur. That's why I'm taking the Undead. And because it's a meta thing, I thought it'd do quite well. But it's like, let's take something that isn't actually really going to get nerfed, especially, and then just see how it goes. But no, you're right. It's a very good army, and I hope if I face him, which I probably will, I get a scenario that isn't all about that unit strength. But I mean, since most of them are, yeah.
Outside bet then. I'm going to go Sam. It's like, I don't think that's a major outside bet.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I would like to see yourself win, I must admit.
So would I. But in all honesty, when I was feeling quite confident to look through all the lists. I was like, oh, bugger. And also the fact that I have played, there's quite a few of the players here have played, and other than Sam, I've never really beaten anyone. I've beat you, I beat Sam, I think I've beaten Ed. Or I may not have beaten Ed. I don't even know, can't remember whether I bet Ed or not, because I was quite drunk at the time I think we were playing. But yeah, I beat you though. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So this is this weekend. We'll rock this. I think they're doing some live broadcasts, aren't they? The top table, I think, is getting broadcast.
I think so, yeah.
So it should be a good one. So we'll probably get together afterwards and do a bit of a rundown of how we got on, how it went, and who won it. And we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, well, hope you all enjoyed that, everyone, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.